For many of us growing up in the early 80s, childhood was filled with imagination, adventure, and endless possibilities. But in the summer of 1982, one little alien changed everything. E.T. the Extra Terrestrial wasn't just a blockbuster, it was a defining moment in our lives. If you were a kid back then, you probably saw it in a packed theater, wide-eyed, popcorn in hand. It didn't just dominate the box office, it actually surpassed Star Wars to become the highest grossing film of all time at that point, a record it held for 11 years. Yahoo! Do you remember seeing it for the first time? Sitting shoulder to shoulder with your friends, feeling every emotion alongside Elliot and E.T. We laughed with them, we worried for them, and if we're honest, we cried with them too. For weeks afterward, we couldn't stop thinking about it. We devoured Reese's Pieces, secretly hoping an alien might come find us. We bought glowing E.T. fingers at the store. We whispered E.T. phone home to our friends, and dreamed of adventures that would carry us beyond the stars. That year, Halloween became a parade of kids in plastic E.T. costumes, and our bedrooms overflowed with lunchboxes, plush dolls, posters, and toys shaped like our new favorite alien. Watching E.T. today is like opening a perfect time capsule from our childhood. Every scene echoes our youth, kids gathered around the kitchen table playing Dungeons and Dragons, Elliot's bedroom floor scattered with vintage Star Wars toys, the iconic Speak and Spell, and all the little trinkets and treasures that defined our generation. I'm just a few months older than Drew Barrymore, so everything in this movie, the toys, the props, and especially the BMX bikes, feels pulled straight from my own childhood. And who could forget that iconic moment etched into pop culture history, Elliot and E.T. soaring across the sky on Elliot's Kuwahara, silhouetted against that glowing full moon. In that instant, anything seemed possible. It was more than movie magic, it was pure childhood magic. Then later, when Elliot and all his friends took to their bikes in that thrilling chase scene, flying in formation across the setting sun, it felt like every kid's dream come true. The grown-ups in their cars couldn't catch them, helicopters couldn't keep up, kids on BMX bikes, unstoppable. It was empowering, inspiring, and exhilarating. So yeah, most BMX enthusiasts already know that Bob Haro, that Bob Haro, the guy credited with inventing modern freestyle BMX and founding Haro bicycles, he was one of the stunt riders in those unforgettable scenes. And while Bob's story is legendary in its own right, there's another incredible story behind E.T. that doesn't get told nearly enough. Recently at Dirty Fest, which is an awesome 80s BMX reunion out in California, I had the chance to visit with Robert Cardoza, one of the original riders from E.T. Robert was just 19 working in a bike shop when Steven Spielberg's team walked in. What happened next became part of BMX and movie history. Robert was still in his racing uniform when we spoke because he's still racing all these years later. That is just too cool. And during Dirty Fest, I got to spend some time visiting with both Robert and Bob Haro, and it was amazing to see how close their friendship remains decades later. Robert's one of the riders now known as the Lost Boys of E.T., and his story is amazing. Here he is in his own words.
I was riding for Kuwahara and working at Kuwahara at the time. Steven Spielberg had a little niece or nephew, I don't know who it was, and he was making this movie, E.T. But it wasn't called E.T. then, it was called A Boy's Life, which is his life.
Gotcha, yeah.
And when they decided to make the movie, he asked his nephew or niece, I don't know which one it was, what bike would you like to see in my movie? And they said, Kuwahara.
Yeah.
And he looked for it, couldn't find it. And finally, he found someone that said, oh, Everything Bicycles. And that's where Kuwahara was distributed at.
Gotcha.
And they came in on a Monday. Said, hi, we're Spielberg Productions. We're making a movie. Can you give us 20 bikes? And Howie said, see the door over there? Bye. Okay, 3 days later, they come back with a whole new proposal.
Yeah.
And
we'll pay for the bikes this time.
Yeah, we'll give you all the rights you want and all the other stuff you need. And then they decided a thing. So first thing they say is, I'm sitting on the thing, Howie's sitting over there, and the producer's sitting right here, and they go, but we need them in 10 days.
Oh, wow, yeah.
They were all special colored frames. They weren't anything
Okay,
stuff.
so it wasn't, yeah.
So my job, I had to run out in the warehouse, I think we grabbed 20 bikes, took them all out of their boxes, stripped them all down, and sent them off to the painters. In 2 days, we got all the bikes back. I put them all back together, and those pictures you see of me sometimes, if you ever look at, I'll send them to you, but there's pictures of me putting the bikes together at studio, teaching the kids.
I haven't seen those. That's amazing. Yeah.
So I did all that, set all the bikes up, went and did this thing, and we were delivering the bikes at the time. And he showed me the storyboard, and I laughed in his face.
Yeah, because you were like, what the heck is this?
You're going to be able to do this.
Okay.
And then he goes, why? I just made Henry cry, and, you know, I don't really... He goes, but how would you know? And I said, well, I have my bike in my back of my truck. I'll show you what I can do. So I did a couple jumps and a couple of things, and they didn't look very impressed. So there's these concrete loading docks, you know, and this is at Culver Studios. This is where it actually was filmed. Okay. And it's this little concrete ramp, and then Steven Spielberg's car was parked in front of it. Okay, I'll shock him. Over the car. Land, come back. Where can find more guys like that?
That was amazing.
So at that time, we could go to Ascot on a Wednesday night, and there'd be 500 kids there. You know, 60 motos. So the next Wednesday, they showed up at Ascot, 5 or 6 producers. They set a little table in the corner, and they would go out to the track and take pictures of kids, and then ask them to come and do this thing. So I had nothing to do with the picking of the kids. Well, happened to pick Seppi Mays, who lived across the street from me. David Lee, who was my best friend. They picked a couple other kids that you don't see, Grant Myers, and a couple other ones that you don't know. But then, see, it was David, me, Chris Taylor. I can't remember. I gotta think of pictures before.
Yeah.
So it was Seppi, Haro, me, David, and Chris. So that's how
amazing.
And so
how old were you at that time?
I think it was 19.
19. Wow. Okay.
1980. So
okay.
I had 19. And so I was there, thought I would just take care of the bikes. Well, as soon as I walk on property for the studio, this lady comes running up to me with a clipboard. Little lady with glasses. She, are you Robert Cardoza? And I said, yeah. Why? She goes, you need to go to wardrobe. And I looked at her like, wardrobe? Me.
Yeah.
That's me, right? He goes, yeah, you got to go to wardrobe. You're Greg.
You're Greg. Okay.
Okay, so I went and suited up, and then, and as you've seen, I did almost all this. Anytime you see Greg, it's me.
Okay.
That's Stunt. And then we supplied the bike, so we were pretty much in it all the way.
It's amazing, yeah.
When we did it, and we had made other movies, other things, commercials and stuff, and you don't really, they'll be for out of the U.S. Media, and we never saw them. So we thought, this is probably
yeah, never see it again.
We'll never see it. And it's dumb, this fucking, and we didn't see the, well, I saw the alien. Most of the kids didn't see the alien. All we had was the basket.
Okay, yeah.
Aluminum. It was an aluminum
ducket. It was just,
and they wrapped it with the blanket.
Okay.
And they added all the effects later.
I gotcha.
Okay, so they had that. So no one really knew, and we were like, this is fucking hokey.
Yeah.
This is hokey. And so, I'd say about 120 days later, they called us, hey, come see the movie at Universal Studios. And this is before
okay.
So we get there, and here's the other funny story about that. When we get there, we're running late, LA traffic. So we're coming up, and we park at the studio, and we come up and run up these stairs, long stairs to this big arena thing. And there's this lady pounding on the window, blam, with her shoe, and this little girl, blam, blam, my daughter's in this movie, let me in, my daughter's in this movie. Finally, this guy comes and opens the door for all of us and lets us in, and I look over. That's Drew Barrymore's mom and Drew.
No way.
Yeah.
Let me in. Yeah. They only knew.
Yeah. And then, so we go to that event. We sit down. They set us right in the middle, all of the writers. And then they had a bunch of studio kids behind us. Probably between 7 and 11. About 10 or 15 of them. They're all studio kids. You know they are. And they played the movie. And I'm listening to these kids chatter how, oh God, I hope we can save him and all this stuff. And then that time when E.T. dies, oh God, don't let E.T. die. You know? And I was always taught, and I have a lot of friends in the movie, if you can catch a kid's ear or eye for 5 seconds, you'll have a hit.
Yeah.
These were
the kids were totally engaged,
the whole way. And we went, oh no. And then it premiered in Hollywood the next weekend, and the lines were down the block.
Wow.
And we were like,
and you were just like, so you went from within 2 weeks of like, I'll never, never see it till we saw the pre-screening or whatever, and And then you're like, well, we might got something here, and then it went to just blockbuster. Yeah, that's amazing.
But the funniest part about all that, none of the writers' names are in any of the credits. Because we were all scabs at the time.
Gotcha.
They just used us as
It's random, yeah.
So
Interesting.
we didn't get any names. There's only, if you go all the way to the bottom of the listing of the credits, it says thank you to Everything Bicycles. That's it.
Huh.
Well, we kind of got up, you know. So a couple phone calls were made to Steven's office. About 2 weeks later, he did a full-page ad in the Hollywood Reporter thanking all us by name.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah, so we did get the recognition we deserved, but we still should have been put on.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all it was. It was a fluke thing. We thought it was nothing, and it became this explosion. So
It's amazing, yeah.
yeah, that's me.
That's awesome. Thanks for sharing your stories.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, buddy.
Yeah,
I love
appreciate
your,
it.
I love your
Yeah,
program and
yeah.
your show. It's
Very cool.
Like Robert said, he and the other riders had no idea they were part of something legendary. They were just local BMX kids doing what they loved, riding bikes, jumping ramps, and chasing adventure. They made an entire generation of kids want to ride, to explore, and dream bigger. And that's why even after all these years, ET still matters. It reminds us of who we were back then, and maybe, just maybe, who we can still become. Huge thanks to Robert for sharing his incredible memories, and to all the BMXers out there keeping the spirit alive. Until next time, keep riding, keep remembering, and keep dreaming, and we'll see you around the neighborhood.